Education matters, and a local woman shares her remarkable path to earning her degree. As NBC6's Dan Jovic explains, she hopes to inspire others and make sure no one has to endure what she has.
Spring 2020.
It was very overwhelming.
On a warm night in May, Bina Perez walked across the stage at Bossier Parish Community College's graduation.
It was the first time that I ever walked a stage.
She had earned her associate's degree in education. It was a night to celebrate. To understand Bina's present, you must understand her past.
It was a harsh life.
She's one of 10 kids. Her parents met while her father was in the Air Force, stationed at Barksdale. After leaving the Air Force, they moved to Columbus, Ohio, her father taking jobs in construction. That's when things changed.
They pulled us and they said, well, we're going to homeschool you.
6 weeks into kindergarten, Bina's parents pulled her and several of her siblings from school, claiming they'd be homeschooled. Instead, she and her brother were put to work by their father at construction sites.
We learned skills like how to build a house, but not necessarily how to read.
Bina received no formal education. She was illiterate.
I mean, we were building sidewalks, we were fixing pools, we were building walls, we were messing with cement mixers. We would do it because we had to. There was no, if he came back and it wasn't done, that was not going to be good. So we just did it. And now I look back and I'm like, that was not normal.
The family would go back and forth between Columbus and Texas. She now realizes why it happened that way.
CPS came into our lives a couple times, and I think any time they started coming around, we would leave the state.
Bina vowed she was going to learn, so she would walk to local libraries and find books with attached audio cassettes. She'd play the cassettes and match the audio she heard with the words on the page.
This word is this because that's what they said on the cassette tape.
She did it enough until she could read. In her teens, she split from her parents and ended up having a son. It was in his teen years that a curiosity sparked.
And I said to myself, my son is in high school. My son is 4 years away from graduating. And I'm going to tell him when he graduates, go to college.
It led her to taking a leap of her own. She enrolled at BIPSI, taking remedial courses, learning for the first time things that she should have been taught for years.
What should I have learned in high school to try to get myself to where they were at in class?
For 3 years, she kept moving forward, it all finally culminating on that warm night in May.
Bina L. Perez.
Achieving what she once thought was unthinkable.
The biggest thing I wanted to do was to make sure that there doesn't have to be anyone who has to deal with what I deal with, because I think everybody should be able to learn.
Amazing, inspiring story. Now in the fall, Bina will begin pursuing a bachelor's degree in education at LSUS, and she hopes to become an advocate for students of all ages.